People don't fall in love with who you are. They fall in love with what you awaken inside them. Attraction has always been painted as something mysterious, magical, or uncontrollable. But the truth is, it is not random at all. Human connection follows patterns. It follows psychological triggers rooted in needs, wounds, and unspoken desires. People are not pulled toward you because of coincidence. They are pulled because you represent something they crave. And understanding this truth is the beginning of power. When someone falls in love with you, it is rarely about the details of your appearance or the sound of your voice. It is about the way your presence makes them feel. You become a mirror, reflecting their hidden wants. You become a solution, filling their invisible gaps. Sometimes, you are a light that reminds them of hope. Other times, you are a balm that soothes their pain. This is why attraction is never neutral. It either elevates or consumes. Psychologists have long observed that people fall in love not with the person themselves, but with the role that person plays in their emotional world. You may think someone loves you, but what they really love is the way you make their brokenness feel less heavy, or the way your strength gives them security, or the way your silence forces them to confront their own noise. And here is where danger enters, because not everyone who feels pulled toward you wants to build with you. Some only want to feed from you. This is the hidden truth of attraction. It exposes both light and darkness. Your glow draws admiration, but it also draws envy. Your vulnerability draws compassion, but it also draws manipulation. Your calm draws peace seekers, but it also draws controllers. Love is not always pure. Sometimes it is nothing more than obsession dressed as affection. Sometimes it is desire fueled by insecurity. And if you do not see clearly, you mistake chains for devotion. Think of it this way. Two people can be drawn to the same flame. One wants its warmth, the other wants to put it out. The flame itself does not change. What changes is the intention of those who come close. In the same way, your essence will attract many, but not all will deserve to stay. That is why emotional intelligence matters more than blind passion, because passion can trick you into opening your door to poison, but wisdom keeps your boundaries sharp. The strongest people are often the most magnetic, not because they seek attention, but because strength carries a rare energy. It is calm in chaos. It is certainty in confusion, and people crave it. Some crave it because they admire it. Others crave it because they want to take it. They fall in love with the shield you carry, not because they respect it, but because they want to test it. And if you do not guard your strength, they will drain it until you no longer recognize yourself. But attraction does not end at strength. It also hides in wounds. Scars have power. They reveal depth. They speak of battles survived. And whether you admit it or not, people can sense them. Some see your wounds and feel empathy. They want to heal with you. Others see them and sense opportunity. They want to use them. Toxic people are masters at reading pain. They know how to disguise manipulation as care. They know how to press on your old scars until you confuse harm with love. This is why you must never let your wounds stay unguarded. Own them. Do not bury them, and do not apologize for them. When you carry your pain with dignity, it becomes impossible for others to use it against you. The hidden truth of attraction is this. People fall in love with two things, your strength and your wounds, and both can be blessings or traps. Your strength makes you magnetic, but it also makes you a target. Your wounds make you human, but they also make you vulnerable. To navigate this, you must master the silent strategies of awareness. Watch patterns, not words. Listen to energy, not promises. Pay attention to how people treat you in silence, not in performance. Real love will never punish you for being strong. It will never resent your calm. It will never exploit your scars. Real love will grow beside you, not drain you. But toxic love? It feeds on your strength until you are tired, then feeds on your wounds until you are broken. And if you do not wake up to this truth, you will mistake control for care and captivity for connection. The greatest act of empowerment is not to attract more people. It is to filter them. It is to understand that not everyone who loves you deserves you. It is to know that attraction alone is not proof of value. What matters is intention. What matters is respect. What matters is whether love brings peace or chaos. So remember this, you are not loved for who you are. You are loved for what you awaken. Some will love your fire because it warms them. Some will love it because they want to control it. Your job is to guard the flame, to let only those who bring light step closer, and to let silence protect you from those who would burn you to ashes. People are not drawn to weakness. They are drawn to the strength they secretly wish they had. Strength is magnetic. It cannot be hidden even when you try. It shows in the way you stand tall in storms. It shows in the way you hold silence when others break. It shows in the way you keep walking when life tries to bend you. And this strength, whether you notice it or not, is one of the biggest reasons people fall in love with you. Psychology explains that humans are wired to admire resilience. When someone demonstrates calm under pressure, it signals security. It tells the subconscious mind, here is someone I can lean on. Here is someone I can trust. That is why strength attracts. It makes people feel safer in your presence. Your silence during conflict, your patience in chaos, your ability to rise after falling, these qualities are rare. And what is rare always pulls attention. But strength is a double-edged sword. It does not only attract those who admire it, it also attracts those who envy it. It attracts those who want to consume it. Toxic people are often the first to be drawn to strength because your calm exposes their insecurity. Your boundaries frustrate their need for control. Your self-respect reminds them of the emptiness inside themselves. And so, they fall in love, not with you, but with the challenge of breaking what looks unbreakable. This is why strength can feel lonely. Because while some are drawn to protect it, others are drawn to destroy it. But here lies your advantage: awareness. When you know that strength is a magnet, you stop being surprised by attention. You stop mistaking admiration for love. You stop confusing obsession with respect. You begin to filter carefully, understanding that not everyone who approaches you is meant to stay. Think about how strength shows itself. Sometimes it is visible in action. The way you refuse to beg for acceptance. The way you set boundaries without apology. The way you choose silence instead of endless arguments. Other times it is invisible, carried quietly in the way you heal from heartbreak, the way you continue to believe in life after loss, the way you refuse to collapse under pressure. And both visible and invisible strength are powerful. They make people stop and notice. But notice this truth: not everyone who falls for your strength wants to build with it. Some want to lean on it until it breaks. Some want to copy it because they lack their own. And some want to tear it down because your resilience is a reminder of their weakness. That is why strength must always be guarded, not by hiding it, but by being selective about who earns access to it. Toxic people see strength as a challenge. They are drawn because they believe they can outsmart it, chip away at it, and prove to themselves that even the strong can be controlled. They fall in love with the idea of victory, not with the real you. They disguise their attempts as affection, but underneath, it is always about power. And this is where your silent strategy becomes crucial. The best defense for strength is not aggression. It is calm clarity. When you stop reacting to toxic attempts, they lose power. When you protect your energy, they cannot drain you. When you remain firm without explanation, you starve them of the control they seek. This is why strength in silence is more powerful than strength in noise. Because silence confuses manipulators. It forces them to face themselves. And in that moment, they realize that breaking you is impossible. Still, not all attraction to strength is toxic. The right people fall in love with it too, but they do not seek to use it. They seek to honor it. They admire it not because it makes you untouchable, but because it makes you trustworthy. They see your resilience and know you are capable of love that is steady, not fragile. They see your boundaries and know you value respect over chaos. Real love is not threatened by strength, it is inspired by it. Strength is not about never falling. It is about rising again and again, and people notice that. They notice when you do not break where others would. They notice when you carry yourself with quiet confidence. They notice when you are not desperate for approval, because that confidence is a rare currency in a world full of insecurity. And so, they fall in love, not with perfection, but with resilience, not with your mask, but with your foundation. But here is the warning. Strength will always attract both admiration and attack. You cannot control who is drawn, but you can control who you allow close. Remember that your strength is not for everyone. Not everyone deserves to lean on it. Not everyone deserves to witness it. Some must be kept at a distance because their love is only hunger disguised. The truth is simple. People fall in love with your strength because it makes them feel safe, inspired, or challenged. But only you can decide who deserves to stay in that space. Strength without wisdom is wasted, but strength with awareness becomes unshakable. So guard it, protect it, carry it with dignity. Let it attract, but never let it enslave you. Because at the end of the day, strength is not just what draws people in, it is what keeps you free. The moment you show strength, you become a magnet for those who admire you and for those who envy you. Strength is not neutral. It never goes unnoticed. The moment you reveal it, you divide the world around you. Some people are drawn to it because it inspires them. Others are drawn to it because it threatens them. And this is the truth most people ignore. Your strength will attract both light and darkness. It will bring respect and resistance, admiration and attack, loyalty and betrayal. When you stand firm in chaos, people notice. They see your calm as a lighthouse in the storm. To those who live in constant panic, your stillness feels like peace they have been searching for. They are drawn to it. They want to be near it. They want to learn from it. That is the light your strength attracts, the souls who value stability, who recognize dignity, who understand the rare power of silence in a loud world. But not everyone is drawn to strength with good intentions. To some, your strength feels like a challenge. Your silence frustrates their control. Your boundaries remind them of their lack of power. And your resilience awakens their deepest insecurity, the fear that they are small compared to you. This is the darkness your strength attracts. The manipulators, the controllers, the jealous, the ones who mistake breaking you for victory. Psychology teaches us that strong personalities act as mirrors. They reflect what others lack. To a person searching for growth, that reflection sparks inspiration. But to a toxic person filled with insecurity, that reflection stirs resentment. They look at your ability to stay unshaken, and they burn inside. Instead of admiring, they seek to test it. Instead of learning, they plot to tear it down. This is why strong people often face both deep love and deep hatred. They are never ignored. They are either honored or attacked. And here lies the silent test of strength. Can you hold your ground when light admires you and darkness hunts you at the same time? Strong people often feel misunderstood because the very quality that makes them magnetic also makes them targets. Your ability to stay calm in conflict will inspire some to trust you and irritate others who feed on chaos. Your discipline will motivate some to grow and provoke jealousy in those who lack control. Your independence will attract admiration from souls who value freedom and rage from those who crave dominance. But here's the truth. The presence of darkness does not mean you are weak. It means you are powerful. The fact that people are drawn to you, even with envy or hatred, proves that your energy cannot be ignored. Weakness rarely attracts enemies, but strength does, because strength shines a light that exposes shadows, and shadows always resist the light. So how do you navigate this reality? With awareness. You must learn to tell the difference between the light and the darkness, between those who come to grow beside you and those who come to feed on you, between those who honor your boundaries and those who seek to break them. This is where emotional intelligence becomes your armor. You must read patterns, not promises. Watch actions, not words. Pay attention not to how people treat you when you are useful, but how they treat you when you are silent. Light will never compete with your strength. It will celebrate it. It will stand beside you, not against you. Darkness, on the other hand, will try to diminish it, manipulate it, or drain it. That is the key distinction. Real love is not threatened by your strength. Toxic love always is. Understand this. Being strong does not mean you will only attract good. It means you will attract both good and bad, and your task is to filter. You are not responsible for who notices your light, but you are responsible for who you allow close to it. You cannot stop darkness from approaching, but you can deny it access. This is why silence is one of the greatest strategies of strength. Not silence of weakness, but silence of wisdom. When you do not react to provocation, you take away the fuel toxic people need. When you do not justify your boundaries, you remind them they hold no power over you. Silence disarms darkness, while light continues to admire you. The paradox of strength is that it gives you attention you never asked for. Some of that attention is a blessing, and some of it is a trap. But strength becomes unshakable when paired with discernment. When you stop trying to be liked by everyone, you stop being controlled by anyone. When you accept that darkness will always follow light, you stop wasting energy fighting what is natural. So remember this truth: your strength is a beacon. It will call to those who need hope, and it will provoke those who fear it. Do not hide it to avoid jealousy. Do not soften it to avoid conflict. That only feeds darkness. Instead, carry it with dignity. Protect it with silence. Guard it with boundaries. Because in the end, strength is not just what attracts, it is what separates. It reveals who belongs in your life and who doesn't. It reveals who respects your power and who resents it. And the moment you stop fearing that division, you step into true freedom. People don't just fall in love with your strength, they fall in love with your wounds too. Your scars speak louder than you think. The world tells you to hide them, to cover your pain, to never let anyone see where you broke. But psychology reveals a deeper truth. Wounds have power. They carry depth. They tell silent stories that cannot be faked. And people are drawn to them in ways that are both beautiful and dangerous. Some see your wounds and feel empathy. They recognize themselves in your pain. They are pulled closer because your scars remind them they are not alone. They feel safe with you because you represent the same battles they fought in silence. These are the people who love you with compassion, not because you are perfect, but because you are real. But others, those who carry toxicity and hunger for control, see your wounds differently. They do not see beauty. They see opportunity. They sense vulnerability. They notice where you bend, where you soften, where you hesitate. And they fall in love, not with you, but with the access your pain gives them. Your wounds become their doorway, their entry point to control. This is the paradox of attraction. Wounds are magnetic. They draw both healers and manipulators. The same scar that makes one person want to hold your hand makes another person want to tighten their grip around your throat. One sees your wounds as bridges, the other sees them as weapons. Why is this so? Because psychology teaches us that wounds carry energy. Pain emits signals that others can read, even without words. A look in your eyes, the pauses in your sentences, the way you lower your voice when speaking of certain things, it all reveals unspoken battles. The right people see this and feel moved. The wrong people see this and feel powerful. Toxic individuals are masters at identifying emotional cracks. They mirror your pain, they tell you they understand, they give you just enough comfort to gain your trust. And once you open the door, they use your wounds against you, they remind you of your scars during arguments, they exploit your insecurities to keep control, they twist your vulnerability into chains. This is why owning your wounds is not optional, it is survival. When you deny your pain, you leave it exposed. When you bury it, manipulators dig it up. But when you accept it, when you carry your scars with dignity, no one can use them as weapons. Your wounds stop being points of weakness. They become marks of resilience. They stop being bait, and they become shields. Think about it. The strongest people you know are not those who never bled, but those who survived bleeding. Their wounds did not make them weaker. They made them deeper, and that depth attracts. People fall in love with your scars because they carry wisdom, perspective, and truth. But your task is to separate those who are inspired by your survival from those who are intoxicated by your vulnerability. Here's how you tell the difference. The right ones respect your scars. They do not throw them back at you. They do not exploit them. They sit with you in silence, honoring what you endured. The wrong ones weaponize your scars. They use your past against you. They twist your openness into control. They pretend to heal you, only to keep you dependent on their presence. Remember, wounds are not weaknesses. They are reminders that you endured. They are proof that you stood in fire and walked out alive. And when you learn to wear them openly, they lose their power as chains. No one can shame you with scars you already own. But here's the danger. When you don't claim your wounds, you unconsciously attract predators. You attract those who sense your hidden shame. You attract those who mistake silence for weakness. That's why personal empowerment is not just about strength. It's about healing. The more you embrace your scars, the less room you give for toxic love to poison you. Real love never fears your wounds. Real love will not demand that you erase them. It will not shame you for carrying them. It will touch them gently and remind you they do not define you. Toxic love, on the other hand, will press on them like buttons just to watch you bleed again. So what must you do? You must guard your wounds as much as your strength. You must stop apologizing for your past. You must refuse to hand your scars over to those who would misuse them. Carry them like armor. Speak of them without shame. Because the moment you no longer hide them, manipulators lose the power to use them. Attraction built on wounds is powerful. But it is dangerous if you are not awake. People will fall in love with your pain because it makes you human. But not all who love it will honor it. Some will try to live inside it, feeding off your sadness, keeping you broken so they can remain essential. That is not love. It is dependency dressed as devotion. The truth is simple. People fall in love with your wounds because they reveal your humanity. But only you can decide who is worthy of touching them. Do not give that access to anyone who cannot respect it. Do not let your scars become chains in the wrong hands. Because in the end, your wounds are not weaknesses. They are proof you survived. And if someone truly loves you, they will never use that proof against you. They will only honor it as part of your story. The scars you carry can destroy you, or they can connect you to a strength deeper than anything you've known. Every wound tells a story. Every scar carries memory. Some scars are visible, etched on the skin. Others live silently in the heart, hidden behind a smile. Yet no matter how you try to bury them, your wounds shape the way you move through the world. And whether you realize it or not, people respond to them. They either become weapons in the hands of the wrong people or bridges in the hands of the right ones. This is the paradox of pain. It makes you human, but it also makes you vulnerable. Psychology teaches us that wounds create what is called emotional openings. These openings invite connection, but they also invite danger. When someone sees your scars, they see a door. The question is, do they walk through that door to honor you, or do they walk through it to control you? Toxic people have a gift. They know how to sense unspoken pain. They know how to press the right buttons, ask the right questions, give the right comfort at first. They act like healers, but their goal is never to heal. Their goal is to bind. They use your wounds as leverage, twisting them into weapons that can be turned against you. Every time you try to rise, they remind you of your scars. Every time you try to move forward, they drag you back into the memory of your brokenness. They disguise chains as care, and the deeper you let them into your wounds, the easier it becomes for them to hold you hostage with them. But there is another truth. Wounds can also become bridges. Not every soul who sees your scars comes to harm you. Some come because they too carry wounds. And when wounds meet, there is recognition, there is understanding. There is a silent bond that says, I see you, I've been there too. These are the connections that transform pain into power. They are not built on perfection. They are built on truth. When you carry your wounds openly without shame, you disarm manipulators. You deny them weapons. You take back control. A scar you've already owned cannot be used against you. It becomes a shield. But more than that, it becomes a bridge for real love to enter. Because true connection is never built on masks. It is built on vulnerability carried with dignity. The strongest relationships are not between perfect people. They are between scarred people who choose to stand tall together. They use their pain not as excuses, but as anchors for empathy. They build bridges from what once broke them, and in doing so, they create something that no toxic person can ever replicate, authentic love grounded in truth. But here is the challenge. You must decide which role your wounds will play in your life. Will they be weapons in the hands of others, or bridges toward deeper connection? The answer lies in ownership. If you hide your scars, you hand them to others. If you carry them with shame, you invite predators. But if you claim them, if you wear them as proof of survival, they lose their power as weapons. Owning your wounds does not mean glorifying your pain. It means refusing to let it define you. It means saying, yes, I bled. Yes, I broke. But I am still here. That kind of strength is magnetic. It attracts souls who are not afraid of depth. It draws people who are not looking for perfection but for truth. And it repels manipulators because there is nothing left for them to exploit. Think of your wounds as fire. In the wrong hands, fire burns and destroys. In the right hands, fire warms and illuminates. Your scars are the same. In the wrong hands, they become weapons that cut you deeper. In the right hands, they become bridges that connect you to healing, understanding, and love. The question is not whether you have wounds. Everyone does. The question is what you will do with them. Will you hide them and let others use them, or will you own them and turn them into bridges that lead to strength? Never forget, pain is not weakness. It is proof of survival. Your scars are not symbols of defeat, they are evidence of battles won. And when you stand in that truth, your wounds stop being traps and start being teachers. They teach you resilience. They teach you discernment. They teach you to recognize who truly deserves your heart. So guard your wounds, but do not bury them. Carry them with dignity. Let them connect you to those who honor your humanity. And let them remind you that no toxic voice can define you, because the scars they try to weaponize are already your armor. At the end of the day, wounds will always attract attention, but it is up to you to decide what they become. In the hands of manipulators, they will be turned into weapons. In the hands of the right ones, they will be turned into bridges. The choice is yours. Own them, protect them, and walk proudly across the bridge your pain has built into a life where no scar is wasted and no wound is ever again a chain. Emotional intelligence. Ice the armor that guards your peace and commands respect. Power doesn't always come from muscles, money, or loudness. The greatest power lies in your ability to master your emotions when others try to control them. Emotional intelligence is not weakness. It is the invisible armor that shields you from manipulation, confusion, and toxic influence. The person who controls their inner world will always dominate their outer world. Every day, people will test you. They will push buttons. They will trigger wounds. Some will come with kindness, others with cruelty. But the moment you react without thought, you hand them your power. You give them the keys to your mind. Emotional intelligence means refusing to let others drag you into their chaos. It means choosing calm over panic, silence over argument, and clarity over noise. Science has proven that emotions are contagious. Your anger can ignite anger in others. Your peace can spread peace. That is why toxic people thrive on drama. They want to infect you with their storms. But when you are armored with emotional intelligence, their chaos cannot enter. You don't absorb it, you don't reflect it. You stand unshaken, forcing them to wrestle with their own darkness. This armor is not built overnight. It comes from discipline, from watching your own patterns, from asking yourself in moments of anger, what outcome do I want? From pausing before replying, from learning to breathe when others scream. Each pause is power. Each silence is strength. Each refusal to fight on their level is a declaration that you are untouchable. Toxic people hate emotional intelligence because it makes their games useless. They cannot bait you into unnecessary wars. They cannot feed on your insecurities. They cannot control your energy. Instead, your calm frustrates them. Your composure weakens their weapons. Your ability to stay collected makes their chaos collapse. That is why emotional intelligence is not just protection. It is silent dominance. And yet, emotional intelligence is not coldness. It doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you master your feelings so they serve you, not enslave you. It means you know when to speak, when to walk away, and when to hold silence as your greatest weapon. It means you can stand in the fire of insult and not burn, because you have chosen not to let the flames touch you. Remember this. People fall in love with strength, but they also fall in love with wounds. Emotional intelligence fuses both. It takes the pain you've endured and turns it into wisdom. It takes the strength you've built and makes it graceful. It transforms scars into shields and mistakes into maps. That is why the strongest people don't roar. They radiate. Guard your peace. Protect your mind. Let no one steal your calm. Emotional intelligence is not about suppressing who you are. It's about upgrading who you are. It is not about pleasing others. It's about commanding yourself. When you wear this armor, you become untouchable. You become magnetic. And those who try to break you will only break themselves against the walls of your silence. The world does not belong to the loud. It belongs to the emotionally intelligent. Silent strength ice. The force that commands respect without ever needing to raise a voice. There is a kind of power that does not shout, does not argue, does not beg to be noticed. It is quiet. It is steady. It is unshakable. This is the power of silent strength. While others waste energy trying to prove themselves, the silently strong simply are. They do not chase attention, they draw it. They do not fight for control, they embody it. Their calm presence speaks louder than words ever could. Silent strength is not weakness, nor is it passivity. It is discipline. It is the choice to conserve your energy instead of scattering it on meaningless battles. Toxic people thrive on noise. They want arguments, reactions, explosions of anger. When you deny them this fuel, they shrink. Your silence becomes a mirror that forces them to face their own emptiness. That is why your restraint is not surrender, it is victory. Psychology reveals that the most magnetic people are not the loudest. They are the ones who listen, the ones who observe before acting, the ones who carry themselves with composure when others lose control. Humans instinctively respect those who master their impulses. Silent strength signals that you are not controlled by the outside world. You are anchored from within. And this kind of presence makes people trust you, fear you, or love you, but never ignore you. There is a secret truth. Silence unnerves toxic people. It strips away their ability to manipulate. They want chaos. You give them stillness. They want you to break. You remain unbroken. Your quiet endurance makes their words echo into emptiness. The moment you stop defending yourself, they have nothing left to attack. Silent strength starves the games they play, and in the end, they collapse under the weight of their own noise. But silent strength is more than defense. It is creation. In the spaces where you choose not to argue, you build focus. In the moments where you refuse to react, you build clarity. Every time you save your energy from unnecessary battles, you invest it into your growth. And over time, this investment compounds. While others burn out fighting meaningless wars, you rise with unstoppable momentum. Silent strength also reshapes relationships. People begin to realize you cannot be manipulated by fear or guilt. They see that your approval cannot be bought with flattery, nor shaken by insult. You become unpredictable to toxic minds because their usual weapons do not pierce you. And this unpredictability makes you powerful. Those who try to control you eventually retreat, while those who value peace are drawn closer. Understand this. Silence is not about being voiceless. It is about choosing when and how to use your voice. The sword that is never swung recklessly remains sharp. The words you do not waste become more valuable when finally spoken. People listen to the quiet one because when they do speak, it matters. That is the essence of silent strength, selective power. Power that doesn't need constant display because it is already undeniable. To carry silent strength is to live above the noise of the world. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. You stop being drained by toxic people and start redirecting your energy to your own path. You stop defending who you are and start embodying who you are. In silence, you rise. In strength, you endure. And in that unshaken state, you become unforgettable. Remember this, storms are loud, but the earth beneath them remains still. Be the earth. Be the force that doesn't need noise to prove it exists. The power of silent strength is not about hiding, it is about mastering. It is about choosing peace, even when chaos surrounds you. It is about building an inner fortress so solid that no insult, no betrayal, no manipulation can break through. The strongest move you can make is no move at all. The deepest respect you can command comes not from force, but from calm authority. Silent strength is not just a way of surviving, it is the art of conquering. Your final stand. Ice not fought with noise, but with an unbreakable decision to never bow to toxic chaos. There comes a point in life when silence is no longer avoidance and strength is no longer survival. It becomes your final stand, not against others, not against the world, but against the pull of your old self, the self that once tolerated disrespect, the self that once reacted to every provocation, the self that once gave away power too easily. Your final stand is the moment you choose peace over poison, clarity over confusion, and dignity over drama. This stand does not happen in a loud battlefield. It happens in the quiet of your own mind. It begins with a decision, no more. No more wasting energy on people who drain. No more bending to fit into spaces that shrink you. No more carrying wounds as chains instead of wisdom. When you reach this point, something shifts. Toxic people sense it. They can no longer reach you the way they used to. They try the same tricks, but your silence makes their weapons useless. Psychology teaches us that humans repeat patterns until something inside them changes. For years, you may have been pulled into cycles of manipulation and emotional games, but your final stand breaks the cycle. You stop being predictable. You stop being available to their drama. You stop offering the reactions they crave. Instead, you respond with silence, with distance, with composure, and in that moment, you take back your power. This does not mean you stop loving. It does not mean you harden into stone. It means you learn the difference between love and self-sacrifice, between forgiveness and self-betrayal. You understand that protecting your peace is not selfish. It is survival. Toxic people will call it pride. They will call it arrogance. But it is neither. It is sovereignty. It is the refusal to let anyone else decide how much of yourself you should lose. Your final stand is also the death of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being misunderstood, fear of walking away. Fear is the chain that keeps people trapped in toxic cycles. But when you cut that chain, something extraordinary happens. You realize that solitude is not emptiness. It is power. That rejection is not loss. It is redirection. That endings are not punishments. They are beginnings. This stand demands courage. It demands that you stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. It demands that you stop lowering your standards to keep temporary company. It demands that you stop feeding the hunger of those who only take. Each time you enforce your boundaries, you strengthen your shield. Each time you choose yourself, you reinforce your throne. Each time you walk away, you step into a higher version of yourself. Toxic people cannot survive where you are going. They feed on weakness, but your wounds have become wisdom. They feed on chaos, but your silence has become armor. They feed on guilt, but your clarity has become unshakable. In your final stand, you do not fight them. You starve them. You deny them the chaos they crave, and without your energy, they fade. And so, your final stand is not about proving yourself to anyone. It is about proving to yourself that you are no longer who you once were. You are no longer the person who allowed disrespect to slide. You are no longer the person who confused attachment with love. You are no longer the person who mistook drama for passion. You are different now, stronger, wiser, untouchable. Remember this truth: battles are not always won by those who shout the loudest. They are won by those who refuse to kneel. Your final stand is your silent rebellion against everything that tried to break you. It is your declaration that peace is not something you wait for. It is something you claim. And when you make this stand,